All right, so on a Monday, I'm going to start with an NFL whip. And since we have not one, but two more today, I guess I'm going to once again start and get ahead of it by going with this. Ready? If you're getting ready for work right now, you're probably not Chip Kelly or Shane Bowen.
If you're getting ready for work right now, then you're probably not
Chip Kelly or Shane Bowen.
If you're getting ready for work right now, then you're getting ready for work right now.
Chip Kelly or Shane Bowen. Shane Bowen or Chip Kelly. Chip or Shane. Shane or Chip. Neither one of them. All right, starting with Bowen. Finally been sawed off by the Giants. And then the Chipper has finally been run through the chipper by the Raiders. And neither firing is remotely surprising because they were two of the worst coordinators in the league this year. However, what is a little surprising is that Chip left Ohio State, where he won a natty. That's not surprising because the Raiders made him the highest paid coordinator this season. My man was getting $6 million per season to leave Ohio State and run the Raiders offense, only to run it into the ground. Not saying he had the best personnel. I'm saying he ran it into the ground. Fired after only 11 games. Man, I like Chip. I've always liked Chip. But that right there is some pervin liar level failure. I mean, it's so wild to say, but the Raiders season is somehow reaching pervin Jags level of humiliation. At least on the field. I don't think that the gum assassin is going to skip out on any team flights, abandon his team to go canoodle with co-eds and C-Bus anytime soon. But on the field, the Raiders are nearly as much of a dysfunctional disgrace as Perv's Jags were. I think that's some really good perspective for you today. Cleveland. Because some of you, changing topics, some of you cultists are acting like the Browns just won the Super Bowl and Shedeur just poured it on the 85 Bears defense. When in reality, he completed 11 passes against the worst team in the league. Let me put it to you this way. There is a very good reason why Pete Carroll just axed both of his coordinators in a 17-day span. Because the team's a freaking dumpster fire. They're an embarrassment. They're horrible. They're garbage. The gum murderer, for perspective, garbage. The gum murderer never fired a coordinator in season during his entire run in Seattle, and now he's broken off both of his coordinators after only 11 games in Vegas. That's how horrendous that situation is. And that's the team that Shedeur and the Browns just beat. Well, by the way, Shedeur is not the one who got Chipper run through the chipper. That would be Myles Garrett and the rest of the Browns defense, which racked up 10 more sacks in that game. 3 more sacks for Garrett. This dude's got an outrageous 18 through 11 games. How amazing is that? They rarely even lead. And he's got 18 sacks through 11 games. And over the last month, he has been on one of the all-time greatest pass rushing heaters in the history of that league. If anything, the best thing that Shedeur did for himself yesterday was win Myles Garrett over, which he appeared to do on that deep shot to Isaiah Bond, which frankly, even though it broke the internet, it was a really nice ball.
In the A-gap.
They're down at 8. Here comes the pressure. Running away from it is Sanders. He's looking long. He's got a man. Caught at the 10-yard line. Bonds. He's down to the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Browns. He beat Darnay Holmes for 53 yards.
Big time play. Big time play. Really nice throw. And Shedeur is not even known for his deep ball. But he can get out and make plays on the run. We know that. But see, that's the kind of juice that the Browns offense is desperate to find. That's exactly the kind of spark they needed out of Shedeur. And unfortunately for you, no names mentioned, but looking at you, Alvin Gabriel. That is exactly the kind of play that you, son, were not making. Now, I'm not here to hate. Yeah, hi, dude. Sorry about that. I'm not here to hate on Shedeur. Never have been. Never will be. However, I do get pretty amused by his cultists and how badly they want to spike the ball on the entire universe today and act like yesterday proved once and for all he's him. Once and for all, this dude is a superstar. Once and for all, told you, now you tell us how our ass tastes. None of that's true. No, it didn't. Yes, he showed some flashes. Yes, he looked generally more comfortable and confident and accurate than he was a week ago. And yes, Cleveland won that game. So, Shedeur did enough to earn another start. I want to see more. I need to see more. The entire city of Cleveland wants to see more. So initially, Kevin Stefanski was non-committal about who's starting next week, but he knew he didn't really have a choice. So he made the announcement today. They can't go back to you, Alvy. No offense. Sorry, but if they put you back in there, the cultists might riot and burn that stadium down. And always know there's a home for you here. At the same time, I understand why the Shedeur post-game antics rubs some people the wrong way, especially with his comment about only working on 1 week of practice.
Win is crazy. It's amazing, you know, off of 1 week of practice, you know what I mean? This 1 week of practice. So imagine, you know, what a full offseason look like. It get dangerous. But it's just a 1 week of practice, so I'm just truly thankful, you know, that everything happened.
You know, so again, we have this dichotomy.
Practice.
We have this dichotomy. If it were another young quarterback saying that, would we have the same reaction? Say, Jackson Dart. I would say no. But then again, we are talking about a guy who is so highly rated, who was supposed to win the Heisman, who was supposed to go first overall, who dropped all the way down to number 5. And frankly, he's different than Jackson. He's a celebrity more than he's a quarterback right now. So you're going to have great polarization. Normally, 5th-round picks on 3 and 8 teams do not usually talk that much or at all. But then again, 5th-round picks on 3 and 8 teams generally are not the son of Deion Sanders. So I understand why this is a unique situation and a unique player, but let's maybe do a little more than just beat up on the pathetic Raiders before we start telling everybody how great we are and how legendary we are, and just give me a whole season of reps and then check back with me. I mean, the defense, as an example, the defense had nearly as many sacks as you completed passes, dude. So maybe we chill with the me stuff. You completed 11 passes, and the defense had 10 sacks. So you tell me who won that game. Look, I get it. He's the first Browns rookie QB to win his starting debut since 1999. That's why he's feeling himself. That's why the cultists are feeling themselves. And on some level, I get it. Like, I do want to see more. All I'm trying to say is the Raiders are bum ass. They're a total disaster. Beating them doesn't really prove anything, no matter how badly some of you want it to prove that you were right once and for all. Yes, a win is a win. Nobody can take that from them, but stop acting like it's more than it isn't. It's a win over the Raiders. Nobody in the league is a bigger disaster than the Raiders. All right, more on that in a minute. However, Philadelphia, segue, in the second half in Dallas yesterday, tried their very best to look their very worst. And by the way, they succeeded. Man, they looked horrible. That's how you blow a 21-0 lead to that Cowboy team. While somebody's scoring no points for almost 3 full quarters against the Cowboy defense, somehow, how did that happen? They come right out, they score in the first 3 drives. That 21-0 lead looks like it's going to be a 40-point blowout. And then they just shut down? And they give up 24 unanswered points. That game went from looking like a bloodbath to being an all-time gag job by Philly. And it could not have come at a worse time for them. You thought there was drama last week. Just watch Philly fan melt down right now. Meanwhile, Jarrah's in heaven after seeing his boys tie the franchise record for their biggest comeback ever. And I got to give the old man credit. His boys did play hard for the entire game. Watching that game early, I'm looking at Shoddy on the sideline. Man, that dude looks so beleaguered. Yet they never let go of the rope. They never gave in. And they just kept coming. And the obvious example of Dallas's relentless effort was the viral special teams play from the fourth quarter. Look at this. Dude never gives up on the play. Oh, by the way, anybody wants him to be a gunner? An undrafted rookie getting absolutely ragdolled down the field, staying in the play, tracking the ball down, and then delivering a devastating hit and jarring the bar loose all on one play. That's an amazing play. A great example of Dallas still showing heart, Dallas still showing effort in this game, in a game that was over after 3 possessions. Dallas didn't even score on that possession. They recovered it at the 8, and they still couldn't get it in the end zone, which means that Philadelphia got the ball back in a tie game with just over 3 minutes left, only needing a field goal to win after all that collapsing and back-to-back fourth quarter fumbles in the fourth quarter. Philadelphia still could have pulled that game out with one good drive, but of course they didn't. So let me give Jarrett credit for one more thing. George Pickens has been pretty freaking amazing. I never understood why Pittsburgh had to send this guy out. But man, they look goofy as hell right now. You think maybe they could use that guy right now? Because Pick has almost more receiving yards so far than every Steeler wide receiver combined. Look at those numbers. Maybe he's playing for a contract. Maybe they let him be him. But he hasn't just been better than advertised. He's been one of the better receivers in the league all year long. As long as you keep this dude away from the casinos, that dude has been money. I have to also admit, pretty funny that the Cowboys wasted no time going right back after those Philly elementary school kids. Check them out. Remember we played that last week? Look at that boot. They wasted no time slapping an Eagles logo on a blocking bag and having dudes tee off on it. They also spiked the ball on social media with this. This post read, "Schooled them, and bags don't hit back, but we do." You tell them, Cowboys. You tell those 10-year-olds who's boss. You feel free to stunt on those 9-year-olds. Cowboys, social media, go ahead. Celebrate that 500 record. These are the 10-year-olds they're talking junk to. Go ahead. Stunt while you can. Shove it in those little kids' faces. Should have put the little kids' faces on it. Man, that's sad. You used to stack Lombardis back in the day. Now you've reduced yourself to talking smack and dissing little kids and teenagers. Even in victory, you look lame. But I'll give you this. Not as lame as Philly, who came from way ahead to choke away that 21-0 lead. I tried my best to defend Jalen Hurts in that Philadelphia offense last week. I did raise questions, but I tried to defend them, but there is no way I'm doing that now. Not after looking like they were going to hang a half 100 on Dallas, only to get completely shut down after scoring on the first 3 possessions. Not going to bury them completely. But the Eagles have some serious issues to work out that I don't know that rock, paper, scissors Sirianni can clean up. And from the looks of things, the Super Bowl will not go through Philly. Not this year. Something else is going to hurt them badly. How did that happen? After the week that they had, didn't it seem like, all right, this is the kind of team that will circle the wagons. This is the kind of team that will issue a statement and knock a divisional rival the hell out. And then they come out and they start out like that. And then they can't finish.